Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today we're featuring a new release from Seiko and this is their new, let's try and get this right, Shog-urai. It's basically a bit of a hybrid watch. If you're into your Seikos, you're going to say, well, that just looks like the Samurai. Now, yes it does, but it has been shrunk down a little bit. The only problem with the Samurai was it was a bit of a chunky model. It was coming in at 44mm. This is smaller than that and I think they've done a good, it's definitely done it a good deed doing that. But the dial layout, well, that looks like it's from a Shogun and that's the more expensive model and it looks quite cool for it. Overall, I think they've done a really good job. The reference number for the black model is SRPL 13 and the red model is SRPL 11. Now, overall, I think they both look good. I think the red is more standout, but the black is definitely the stay safe colour. But before I get too far into this review, I've got to say a massive thank you to the team over at First Class Watches. They have helped the channel out no end. They've been real superstars. I'd strongly recommend popping in if you're in the Midlands area. If you're a bit further afield, well, don't worry, I'll leave a link in the description below and at the bottom of the page now. Or ask if you do contact them, please mention my name. So anyway, let's talk dimensions. Now, we're talking on this one a 41.7mm outer dimension, and the reason for that is the bezel here is the widest point of the watch. It does sculpt down nicely, it makes it more comfortable on the wrist. The thickness of the watch is coming in at 12.6mm, which is perfectly respectable for a watch of this style. And the lug to lug is just under 49mm. The bracelet size on this, rather nice looking bracelet actually, is coming in at 20mm. Now, the dial itself, let's go for the red one, shall we, for this dial bit. Now, I think this is going to be the more standout colour personally. I like the way we have these applied hour markers on this rather kind of matte style dial, but I think they do suit it. Now, as I say, these kind of teeth almost, they look like almost teeth, don't they, kind of these hour markers, and the hands. Those are aspects which are taken from the Shogun model and I think it looks really good for it. The minute hand, the hour track, all looks, the hour markers all look like they've been lifted directly off that. Slight variations with the line coming through and the hour marker with this slight mark going, protrusion going on here. But as you can imagine, these are full of lume, as too is the pip at the top, and it is exceptional, as you'd expect from a Seiko diver. It, second to none. They really do a great job on that, no question at all. The hands themselves have got this kind of brushwork affair on them and say full of lume, then you have that polished second hand going on top there. Now, I like the fact we've got just the Seiko text there, the Prospex X, not some people like it, some people don't. I've got no problem with it. Automatic and 200-meter diver, because after all, this range of watches are certified ISO divers. So you're not going to have a problem with these in the water at all. Now, one of the other big changes they've done with this watch, and it looks like they're doing it across the board, is they have moved the date, the actual date window down here at 4:30 position. Now, I believe it looks like they're going to start doing this across the board. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. I personally don't mind it, as I feel it keeps a better symmetry to the actual dial. Overall, some people aren't going to like it because it's a lot smaller, maybe harder to read for some. Now, once we come past that, we have this big, let's swap over it, we have this big chapter ring, which really shows you just how low down this dial actually is. I think it looks really good. Now, the crystal on top is a hard look crystal. Now, I know some people might complain at that, but that's the way it is on this model. I must point out that this model is coming in around about £500, give or take, when you actually come to buy one of these. We do have a big chamfer on the side there, and that, I think, again, gives it a little bit more depth, a little bit kind of stops it from being bland, really. When you catch these little edges, I think they do look quite good. The bezel itself, let's have a listen to the bezel. Nice, somewhat muted. Does it line up? Ooh, I'd say just about on this one. What about the other one? That's smack on, isn't it? That's absolutely spot on there, no problem at all. So it's easy to purchase. They've got this kind of knurled edge going on here. It feels nice actually. It's not too stiff and not too loose. They really have got it just right on this. The actual insert, I believe, is an aluminium insert. There is a slight texture to it. It does look quite good actually when you look up close onto it. Overall, I think they've done quite a nice job on that. As we come to the case, all this brushwork here, I love these angles going on. I think it looks absolutely superb. I really do like them. I like the fact as well we have drilled lugs there. Now the advantage of that is obviously it makes it much easier to swap out the bracelet. No, yeah, just overall I think win-win. I do like drilled lugs. It feels nice and smooth. There's no kind of sharp edges on there at all. Really, really nice. Now as we come over to the crown side, we have these big, crown guard protectors on it. What it does, if you knock the watch, you've got less chance of hitting the crown and possibly, unseating it, let's say. Now when it comes to the crown, let's have a quick, pops out nicely. You've got quite a bit of screw thread on there, and they have nailed it really well on here. Isn't signed. Let me just put it back in. Is it going to go back in? Maybe not the smoothest to go back in, but it has gone back in, no problem at all. Now, as we flip this around to the case back, we just have a solid case back on there. Now, the actual movement is Seiko's 4R35 movement. So we're talking around about 40 hours, give or take, of power on this. I did put both of these models on the time grapher. A bit hit and miss. This one was coming in at +3, +2, +3, which is really good, though the beat error was a little bit out on that, a little bit strange. And this one is coming in around about +9 on this one. Not quite as good. Not quite as good. Now just remember, this is within specifications of what actually Seiko say these can do, but you can always have them regulated. If you buy one and you love the watch so much, send it to a watchmaker like myself and we will regulate one of these and get them really, really good for you. So anyway, bit more about the movement. It has the magic paw winding system, which to be fair is very, very efficient when it comes to winding. So much so Jaeger-LeCoultre actually used the same system, and it's a 23 dual movement. Now, one of the other things I must say on this watch is they have this new bracelet, and I think it looks quite good on this, to be fair. I think it's a really quite a nice looking bracelet. It's got that kind of, it makes it, it's got that kind of masculinity about it. It feels like a strong, sturdy bracelet. It looks like it is pinned all the way up, so you can basically, make this as small as you want it to be. The clasp itself is a stamped out clasp, locks in. You've got the a fold over keeper there, which is signed up, and to remove it you can do that and press the button and it will release. Now you do have micro adjustment on there. You have 4 levels of it. Now on this side we have their dive link extension. Now to be fair, I find these a nightmare to actually use. Let me just try and open it. Oh, there you go. And it opens up. That is a kind of dive link extension. I don't know anyone who actually uses them, but there you go. To put it back in, you hook it over like that and then press that in. To be fair, this one's actually quite easy to do. Now, these are watches I think would look great on ISO diver kind of silicone straps. Let me put this on my wrist so you got an idea how it looks. Quick wrist check. I'm wearing a Panerai 177. I brought this, God, almost 15 years ago. And Bob has what I consider a giant slayer of a watch there. This is the new titanium automatic from Citizen. That's a very cool watch as well. Let me put this on my wrist so you got an idea how it looks. I'll put both on actually so you can see them both on the wrist. Now that's the red model. My wrist size is 7¼ inches, which equates roughly to around about 18.5 centimeters. Overall, I think it looks a great watch. I think honestly, I think they've done a really good job on this. No problems at all. The black one. Now, one thing to also state, look how much bracelet size you get. I reckon that is an 8-inch wrist at least, there. And that's the black one on my wrist. Out of interest, which one do you prefer? I'm personally going for the red model, I think, but I don't know. I'll let you guys, let me know which ones you actually prefer. Anyway, with that, guys, I'm going to leave you to it, but most importantly, you stay safe out there. Take care. Bye.